we go with avatar generation as our first step. And we quickly grown from 0 to 1 million ARR in 6 months.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another great episode of Slator Pod. Today, very pleased to have on the podcast Rong Yan. So he's the CTO of AI video generation and avatar platform HeyGen. Hi Rong Yan, and thanks so much for joining today.
Hey Florian, thank you for having me. I'm really great to have the opportunities to come here and talk to the audience.
Absolutely. So where are you recording this from today? What part of the world?
I'm based in Los Angeles, like a sunny Southern California. So
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, great to talk to but I know that your audience is global, so I'm great to have the opportunity.
We have a big audience on the West Coast, actually, and probably increasingly so with all the tech, right? And you being on the podcast will help in that part of the world. So, tell us first for the listeners, like tell us a bit more about your background. I mean, you in academia, I checked your LinkedIn, you were at CMU, obviously on the language side is one of the most recognized, universities in the world. Then you worked at startups, hyperscalers, and now HeyGen. So just walk us through your background a little bit.
I very originally studied in China. I graduated from Tsinghua University, like back in 2001. And then I went to Pittsburgh in United States to study in Carnegie Mellon. My institute, as you mentioned, is called Language Technology Institute in CMU, and it's one of the department in School of Computer Science. So I get my PhD degrees in 2006, like basically 5 years later. And after that, I joined IBM for 3 years, be a research scientist there. And then I moved to Facebook to lead the ads ranking teams for another 4 years. Basically using like machine learning to make money for the company. I think like it's a very interesting way to leveraging machine learning and AI at that time. So, and I moved on to join Square, which is a payment company. And then Snapchat, I led the product engineering function in Snapchat for another 6 years. And more recently, I joined HeyGen, which is a very exciting journey for me because now I have the opportunities to really go back to the AI world, to the machine learning world, which is where my PhD was rooted from. And then now that I have a lot of time to really think about like how can we make AI work in video generations, in like generating the best quality of the avatar and the video for our user. And this is an amazing time for me.
With Square and Facebook and all of that, the AI was kind of a means to an end, and now it's much more core, right? Much more central to the mission, I guess.
When I was in CMU, I've been always dreaming about how can I make AI work for the business world. But when I graduated from CMU, which is 2006, there's really no such thing to call AI companies. Like the only jobs you can find as an AI PhD, it is literally go to Google or Facebook to join their search ranking teams and ads ranking team to be one of the researchers there. So those are great jobs. They pay well. But on the other hand, I always dreaming about like joining a company that AI, it is the business model itself. So it hasn't been like that for many, many years until really about 2 years ago when AI GC movement has become a real thing. Now that you can see a lot of AI company comes out, but I think that's a golden time for us being AI researchers like before. And now that we can see like the times that where our dreams will come true.
Incredible. Hey, it's like it's only been like 2 or 3 years, but you can almost not think back that this was a kind of a niche, right? That again, you can go to some of the big tech companies and do some specific mission, or maybe work on like the Google Translate team or something like that. But I mean, now it's literally thousands of companies that have a .ai and work on these things. Incredible. Give us the HeyGen elevator pitch, and then also, maybe a little bit about the rest of the leadership team, and also like what triggered the idea. Just kind of HeyGen in a nutshell.
HeyGen, it's a one-stop shop for AI video generations. And we cover all perspective of video generations, and particularly we are well known for avatar generation, but we also do other things. Like we also do translations, we also do audio generations, and everything's related to videos. And right now, I think one of our biggest selling point is that we have the best aerial footage generations with hyper-realistic avatars. And we're really differentiating from our competitors in terms of 3 things. One is quality, one is consistency, and the third one is controllability. Like we are the only places that can achieve all 3 at the same time. And another thing is that we really focus on content professional, which means that it's marketers, salespersons, like customer support people, or like daily corporate professional like us. So we really want to enable this group of users to produce any video from any data source in any languages at any times. So this is our dream. Our dream is just making camera disappear. So I think storytelling should be available to everyone, especially for those people who don't know how to use camera. So I think this is what the power of AI can really bring us to it.
Talk a bit about the also the leadership team, maybe some of the other people that were in at the early stages. Because now obviously you're growing super fast, right? And then also, how did you guys come together? What was the idea like? Like, where was it capabilities? Then okay, now we can do this. It wasn't possible 5 years ago. Now it is. Let's do it. Or was there some particular kind of eureka moment that led to this?
This is actually a very interesting story. Actually, HeyGen was like found 4 years ago. There's really no concept of like generative AI at that time. So, but our founders really have a dreams. We believe like AI can actually generate high quality content, but we don't know how. So that's why the very initial idea from HeyGen, it's actually starting from metaverse, because metaverse was the biggest topic or concept like invented by Facebook. And they go to do like metaverse and then trying like 3D, like CG avatars. It doesn't work. There is like 1.5 year exploration of product market fit, but unfortunately it doesn't work. But they're not giving up. So they really strongly believe that AI can be this powerful tool, can help people to make visual storytelling available. So that's why they go back. They really think about, okay, what could be the product market fit here with this new technology? So, and even before the whole GPT things comes out, they start to figure out, okay, virtual spokespersons, it's actually a great underserved market that no one have been exploring before, because you can actually look at a lot of contractor sites like Upwork or Fiverr. A lot of people are actually hiring people to record a virtual, sort of recording a spokesperson video for them. So they realize, okay, this is a big market. So that's why they go ahead to create a virtual version of it and then sell that in Upwork. It turns out it's working. So people are really willing to pay for the virtual versions of the spokesperson video instead of the real human versions. And then that was the wow moment. We start saying, oh, there must be something here that people are willing to spend money on it. So here comes the idea of HeyGen. And that's why we go with avatar generation as our first step. And we quickly grown from 0 to 1 million ARR in 6 months. And at that time, we know we are on the right track.
Huh, so interesting. So a pivot, huh? An 18 months pivot that led to, basically what's now one of the top kind of product led growth success story in AI. I mean, it's just one of the names that I keep seeing everywhere. Also, you got this, I don't know, you got this like viral success. Like, how do you manage to do this? Like, there's so many viral kind of expos, and probably the same on Instagram and TikTok, like that people post it and you get like millions of views. Like, yeah, is that intentional? Is it just happening because the product's great, or?
I would say we are lucky. So, I mean, for any company who can get viral success, there must be some factor of luckiness here. So I won't deny that. So, and for example, for video translations back in 2023, we see our number of subscription triple in 1 day.
I remember that moment. That was crazy. That was this one guy who kind of posted on his porch or something.
Exactly. And we also have like Taylor Swift like singing in Chinese, and also with the Argentina president speaking English and things like that. So it's suddenly like become a viral sort of a phenomenon in Twitters on that date. So, and actually more recently, Avatar 4, which is a latest like Avatar model we just released like 3 days ago. That also we've seen another big wave of like new user interest coming to our platforms. So fundamentally, like, this is actually tied to one thing. Of course, I mentioned like there's luckiness here, but I also want to make sure that people understand a lot of those success are related to the product quality. That's one thing that we really, really focus on. That if there's one thing I want to point out is that we are actually not the first company who built Avatar. We are not the first company who built video translations features. But I think we are the first company literally bring a 70% quality product in avatar generation and video translations into a 95% quality. We are not perfect, but we are bringing the product into a territories that people start to feel the value coming out of it. So I think that's actually important. So we really want to make sure people feel the value before you can think about viral success. So that was one of the key differentiation I can see from our company here. And another thing I also keep reminding my team members is that viral growth is great, but you really cannot build a business simply based on viral growth. And viral growth is like a starter or kickers in your engines. But you need real engines, you need well-oiled engines to run the car. So you can't just always kicking it and it's not going to go sustainably. So that's why at the end, that gives you the users. But what's the next step? The next step is that we need to focus on the customer value. We need to focus on the product experience. And that's the only way you can actually build a flywheel to keep the user coming back to your services. So I think that was the one thing I keep reminding people is that just don't rely on viral growth.
Yeah, they might churn out very quickly if they don't like it anymore, right? And if the product doesn't work or the UI is clunky or something like that.
Totally.
You mentioned Avatar 4. Tell us more about it. You just launched it 4 days ago. It again popped up in my feeds. It's really hyper realistic, it's incredible. But yeah, tell us more about that.
This is one of our most exciting release for this year so far. Of course, we have other more exciting release coming. But Avatar 4 is actually a new generation of our avatar model. So originally, our avatar model, it's great, but it's not generating a full body. So we're only generating a particular face regions, right? So, and then we do other processing based on that. But now Avatar 4, it's a fully generation model, which means that whenever you put in any kind of audios, not just speaking, but also singing, but also other type of audios, we will generate the full body for you. So that's actually why you see the emotion is so real. The body is so real. The body you can see is actually moving together with the audio at the same time, including the breathe, including the hand gestures. So it changed the games of the avatar generations than what it used to be. And it also opens up a lot of different opportunities there. So originally, we really focus on frontal face. So, and if you have tried our video translation product, you can see sometimes when we have the profile faces, doesn't work as well before.
Yeah, like this.
But, when you move your head, it doesn't work. So, but now we fixed that problem. So with the new model, we can work on the profile view of the humans. We can work on animals. We can work on cartoon characters. We have even cool demos. We have very cool demos that you just simply plot or draw a pictures of a sketch humans, a sketch. So even that human on the paper can start to speak. So I think this is the power of the new model that we're releasing 3 days ago. That's why it become another viral success for us right now.
The kid videos that I'm seeing from all kinds of famous people, are they all an Avatar 4 type of thing, or?
I cannot fully confirm because I haven't verified the source of every single of them.
But I'm seeing so many now. The last 3 days. So it looks like that was it. I already showed one to my kids and they totally cracked up. They find it super funny.
If you're seeing that in the last 3 days, it may be possible, I think.
So. In the last 3 days, yeah. One of them was Michael Saylor, the strategy, the Bitcoin guy. And it was kind of his baby thing. And he was talking about how Bitcoin is the only asset. Okay. Now, you alluded to it before, but what's the long-term vision generally of avatar creation? Where's this all going? Right now, it's incredible. We're all stunned by it. We all think it's incredibly interesting. But what's the 3 to 5 year vision where this is going?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions that we really want to help people to understand or resolve here is that we are now an avatar generation company. We really want to make sure we can build a one-stop shop for AI video generations. I think avatar generation is a key technology. It's a very important technology to help us to achieve that goal, but that's not the only things. And we not only want to own the A role, which is the human videos, but we also want to win the B roles at the same time. So, and this actually means a couple of things here. One is that we will continue to improve our human-centric video modeling capability. And that's the bread and butter for us. So we'll make sure that we continue to be the leaders in this space, and we will improve the quality, the consistency, and the controllability of our human modeling. That's very important. But on the other hand, we also invest a lot in really speeding up the entire video production cycle using AI. I think video translation is a great example. Like video translation is not just the avatar itself. In fact, that technology is actually very complicated, including like how do you managing LLM, how do you doing rewriting, how do you handle the different like gesture to match with the expressions of the humans at the same time in different languages and different environments, things like that. So that's why it's actually a very holistic development of the video generation cycle, not just the avatar tag itself. So we actually also have the other AI video product right now, like AI podcast. I don't know whether anyone have tried that feature. It's a cool feature. I encourage everyone to really try it. Okay. So instant highlights, URL to ads, like all those features, they are not just avatar tags, but they are really the video generation technology that can apply to any very different use cases and can really help users to build those videos faster and better.
I want to talk a bit about some of these individual components, right? So, and maybe if there's a way for you to tell us what's kind of more vanilla and what's a bit more secret sauce, like the voice cloning, the lip syncing, the kind of the generation of the avatar, and then of course for this audience here, the language translation and the language component. Can you just walk us through it a little bit where you feel, I don't know, what's difficult, what's something that's kind of solved on your side?
The nice things here, or the difficult things here, is that if you think about it, video is arguably one of the most complicated AI product out there. So compare with text, compare with audio, compare with images, video is most complicated because it actually involves all those modalities at the same time. And they also have a very long production cycle. So that's why you can basically insert AI in like each of the dimensions, all different modality, and the entire life cycle of videos in that cases. So that's why if you think about our secret sauce, like I'll put it in this way, I mean, what are the things that we have in-house capability? We have a lot of them. So avatar generation is definitely our sort of flagship generation of our flagship models. We also have our translation engines, which is very unique. And because our translation engine is not as simple as like you simply throw a line of text into GPT and then return the targeted video, it's not as simple as that. You need to really consider how the script writing can match with the audio. How do you make sure the length of the script is going to be similar, like for the targeted languages, so that I can put the videos around that. So I think there's also like speaker tone, speaker voice you need to match. And also where do you want to add the pauses into the audio itself? Just so many dimensions you need to consider in the translation engines. And we also have our real-time conversational engines, which is part of our interactive avatar product. That's also very cool things, like you allow that particular component allow our avatar to speak to a human in real times. So that's why I think there's a lot of in-house component we are building to support this dream of making video work. So of course, we are not doing everything. We are not building LLM ourselves. So we believe that's not the biggest bang for the bucks as a small company. We leverage other people's LLM. But one last things, not the least important, but actually the most important things here is that for a really complicated product like video, it's actually very critical to understand how all those components interacting with each other. For example, at what time you need to pick what vendors, or you need to pick what models for your language model, for your translation model, for your audio model, and things like that. So by leveraging our user data, that actually gives us a very strong foundations to figure that out, like what works at what things, at what conditions. So that's why we literally like picking different things for different languages, for different video type, or for different like environments. That actually gives us a very nice differentiation than our competitor also, because only us have that amount of data to help to judge like which one is the best choices for us under what time. So that's why video generations, it's actually difficult, but we believe that we have a lot of nice way to actually make it work. So, and to some degree, that would be our secret sauce.
Yeah, I think in on the platform you have something called dynamic duration, right? Which is I think it's like a box you can tick. You can tick it or you can tick it, and if you do tick it, I think it adjusts the segment durations for, I think you call it, for improved translation and audio quality. But if you have a fixed duration, yeah, how many then you don't tick it, right?
Yep.
So that would be okay. You have some type of model you're choosing, some LLM that's not yours, it's somebody else. But then like that last sliver for the dynamic duration, this is something you're building in house. That's not something that's even out there, right? That is, you built this. Nobody else has it.
So Florian, I'm glad that you point out this particular feature. This is exactly one of those innovations that you need to make this kind of innovation only in the video translation space. No LLM
Yeah.
will do that. So because no one really think about the interaction between the visuals and the languages at the same time. But when you start to think about, okay, then how should I handle a video in the targeted languages? Unfortunately, you cannot stretch the video forever.
Yeah.
So the only ways you can do is to find out some way you can actually make the video part to become dynamic. So I can like invert like new frames if needed, for example. So, and then I can then allow the target languages, even the target languages is like 50% slower than the source languages. I can still accommodate the video with the target languages in that case. So yeah, that's like the complications.
Do you have any stats around like how many people actually choose it versus not? It would seem like for me, like most people would just click it, right? It's more natural. Like who has a fixed duration? Like probably very few people like, okay, this needs to be 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Most people would be a bit more flexible, I guess, right?
I don't have the exact number in mind, but my belief is that more than like 80% of people choose dynamic. So that's sort of the most common configurations people use right now.
That would probably also be somewhat compute intense, because my next question for you was going to be like, what's kind of the most compute intense part of the whole production pipeline? I mean, probably not the language translation, but all the video elements in here.
Yeah, so in fact, they're all related, but I would say that the video generation is definitely the most computational intense part of the pipeline right now. So, and for example, like in the latest avatar model we just released, like we do spend, I'm not going to say the exact number, we spent a lot of GPU to actually like build that new model. But as a return, you get the most powerful like avatar model in the world right now that can really generating such an awesome videos coming out of it. So yeah, but we believe that investment makes sense. We really want to make sure that our user was going to get the best customer value coming out of it. So that's why we would love to invest at this moment to make it work. And of course, like on top of it, so for example, the dynamic duration stuff you mentioned, it's also like another sort of intense operations in the sense, not because like detecting it is difficult, but it's because after you detecting, okay, the duration is not matching, we need to rerun some of the pipeline to actually retrofit the video back to the new target languages. So that's why that adds additional processings on top of that. But that's going back to the biggest narrative that I mentioned at the beginning, is that we, as a company, really want to focus on product quality first.
Yeah.
So we care less about like GPU, we care less about like, sort of just like give you some results immediately. We want to make sure we use the time to generate the best quality of the videos to users. So, and then the user will feel good about it once they can.
That's why NVIDIA is a $3 trillion company again. Just read today, they're back. So initially you mentioned the pivot, right? But like after the pivot, like what is the initial use case you founders had in mind versus like how it's now playing out in reality? And then how do you balance kind of the follow-up or give into user preferences versus kind of sticking to some type of original vision that was laid out, right? Because you could get sidetracked and kind of go into all kinds of different directions. But if you're too rigid, you might like miss important user feedback.
I would say we are a very pragmatic team. So in terms of the pragmatics, we really we do have a North Star. So, and then like our North Star is very simple. We believe in AI at the beginning. We believe AI can help to generate videos and do visual storytelling. But that's the things we are rigid about. But underneath that, like what exactly the visual storytelling will look like? Should it be metaverse? Or should it be video? Or should it be interactive avatar? We actually don't know. And there's where the exploration will come from. So, and the team start with a CG avatar, it doesn't work. That's okay. But it seems our first principle is that AI is going to work. Second thing is about video generation is going to be powerful, like because a lot of people love video and everyone want to generate videos. Those two things, when they hold true, then we just go ahead to explore the other use cases. And then after like a lot of explorations, we realize, okay, this kind of spokespersons or marketing related use cases turns out to be the best entry points to implement our visions. So that's why we get into it. And in fact, the founder at that time, they spent a lot of time interviewing customers. They spent a lot of time like asking, okay, why do you use our product and what do you want to get out of it? And what are the things that we can do better? They probably talked to like 100, 200 of them. So after you just having so much customer conversations, you start to realize, okay, there's a theme behind it. And that themes reconfirms our first principle. AI and video must be something there. So that's why like we will go ahead to stick with that directions. But on the other hand, we believe like the video generation cases or the visual storytelling is such a big spaces. So that's why we can continue to expand our use cases under that umbrella. So I don't think we ever changed the North Star. It's really about like how can we find the best customer value under that umbrella, and which is still something we are doing.
Want to talk about something like I'm Gen X, like a young Gen X, but I'm still a little hesitant sometimes, like uploading, I don't know, my face or a video or like an audio profile to like all kinds of platforms, right? Now, do you see kind of generational differences and of like the willingness of people to use their own likeness for an avatar? Like, hey, I just upload a photo, make an avatar of myself, right? Maybe like from, you know, baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Z to whatever now. I don't know what's the latest one, Alpha. I guess my kids are Alpha or something.
Alpha,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Do you see vast generational differences there, and like some hesitancy from the older one versus just like totally natural, like just generate something from my photo with the newer ones, the younger ones?
I'll probably give you an answer probably very different from like what we imagined here. So, and partly because we are a more business-oriented applications. So that's why in our platform, our user actually was more on the mature side. So we actually see more professional users. So are actually using our products right now than the younger generation of users. But I think to some degree, this is the bias of our user group in general, also because we are a more business-oriented applications right now instead of consumer-oriented applications. So that's why I think there's some natural survival bias in that statistics. But there's some interesting things we do observe is that, for example, we have found that the Western users use more instant avatar in general. So the Western user like United States or European countries, they are more willing to actually like share 2 minutes video and build an avatar for their own likeness. But for the Asian user, they tend to use photo avatar more. And a lot of them actually using cartoons or comical characters to actually build their avatar. So I don't know whether that's due to a cultural difference or not, but yeah, that actually can have some. When we first find this, I think we are also a little bit surprised by the fact. But on the other hand, if you think about maybe the cultural difference, is like the Asian user may be, I would say like maybe have some more hesitations to share their own pages, to generate avatars like that.
Because you have three options, right? You have like one with the photo and you can drop in a few photos. The one is, you probably take a 3-minute video or something of yourself. I'm blanking on the third one. There's another one that I saw.
So yeah, I think we now consolidate into like photos and video.
Photos and video, okay, got it.
Yeah, so make it simple to users. But the third one, I think we can also generate the interactive avatar to actually talk to people in real person, but not use that for video generation purpose.
So, okay, so we got a little bit of a generational bias here, but then generally the broad strokes would be Western users versus Asian users. I guess you probably haven't looked at like different language groups or the differences there, or have you? Do you have any info on that? It's probably a bit
Unfortunately,
granular.
I haven't really dig too deep into that part of it. Yeah, so but it will be very
Right.
interesting as our next step of the research.
Now, you said B2B, and for marketers, and even HubSpot recognized you as like an essential app for marketers. So can you give me like some kind of high level examples of marketing uses that really work now that people are using kind of at scale?
Yeah, so I mean, actually, we have a very strong partnership with HubSpot, which is something I'm very happy about. I actually used to work in HubSpot for 1.5 years, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm
There you go.
super excited to actually have my previous company to work with my current company together as a partner at this moment. And in fact, HubSpot is both our customers, but also our integration partner at the same time. So, and then like the critical use cases that HubSpot is offering to their customer is what we call personalized video. So essentially, you can build a video template, then you can change some of the key value pair in the video in real time. So this means that like when they want to talk to a particular customers, they can quickly replace the name to the real customer's first name and last name in the video, so that you can bring in a much more personal feelings in the video itself. So, and in fact, marketing is our number one use cases right now with the highest retention rate. I think
Nice.
e-learning and knowledge sharing are number two. They are similar to each other, but they are our top two use cases at this moment. And if you think about marketing, there's a lot more other use cases people has been using right now. So including product explainer video, they use that to explain their product, social media ads, event announcements, and product announcements. So there are just so many video use cases that you can apply for marketings. So, and then that's why like people have been really come to our platform for making a marketing video for it. And the one things that would be most challenging for marketing though, but to some degree making our success is that they have the highest quality requirements. Marketer tends to have the highest quality requirement for video because they're going to spend money for it, or they're going to build a customer relationship with those videos. If you see crappy video, they're not going to use it. And in fact, that's where HeyGen is really shining. It's because we are the one of the first platforms can really bring a 70% quality avatar video into now 95%. So, and that's why the time is becoming much more mature to enter into this marketing segment, and people cannot do that before. So I think quality is a very important piece.
Do you look at the competition a lot? Because there's now a lot of competition, I guess, from the outside in terms of avatar generation. I mean, for post-production of this podcast, we're using an app called Descript. And even now, when I opened it the last time, like even they now offer avatar generation. I'm not sure if it's their proprietary tech or if they're maybe using somebody else's, but like, do you think about this a lot? Or are you just like single-mindedly focused on your own story and making sure that the product's working and quality is getting better?
Yeah. Very good questions. In fact, I would say that we are not thinking about that too much right now. So, and the reality is that we're actually not the first company building avatar products. And we are not the last company either. Like, as you mentioned, this crew just released their avatar product. I believe there will be more and more people releasing avatar product here. So, but one thing I fundamentally believe is that we are winning. It's not because we are the only one doing that. It's because we are the only one who are ruthlessly pushing on the quality, pushing on the control, and pushing on the consistency. So that's very important. So I think we are the first company really bring the avatar quality to 95%. And the user can now see the value coming out of it. So it doesn't really matter for any other company can do avatar. Avatar is such an interesting thing is that if you stay at a 70% level, you may see that in social media, but you will not seeing people paying for you because people will feel frustrated for the rest of the 30% of the times. So you really need to get to a level that they feel like you are almost always succeeding in the generations so that they won't get frustrated, so that they are going to pay you the $30 every month in order to use it. So that's why we think our grand vision is not going to change. Since our vision is not going to change, the mission for us are really just going to push the quality on top of it. Now it's avatar, but also we are going to push video generations to the 95% like quality level. So I think once we can achieve that, all the competition will become less of an issue that we will be worried about.
One segment that's obviously also super quality focused is entertainment. I mean, you know, you're in LA, so you're quite close to the source of a lot of the world's entertainment. Any thoughts on getting into entertainment, maybe starting with creators, then kind of going a little bit further up the value chain? I mean, we're not Hollywood right now, but like kind of something in the middle. What are your thoughts on entertainment?
My answer will probably be a little bit different from most of people think. So because like when I first joined HeyGen, one of my friends is actually asking the similar questions. Is it because HeyGen is headquartered in LA? So is it because we want to get into the Hollywood or media industry? In fact, the answer is no. And we actually really want to focus ourselves onto content professional instead of a creative professional. So I think the reason is actually simple. It's because creative professional tends to have very high quality bar. They also have a lot of tools available for them to use. And they also have camera. They're the expert of camera. So they are actually probably the most difficult persons to actually move to a new paradigms that they're not familiar with. But if you think about the content professional, it's a complete reverse of the story in the sense that like those are the people who are good at generating text content, but they don't know how to build video. If I ask any of the marketers, they probably have much less knowledge of building videos. But what they really want is, okay, how can I convert like some of my materials into a videos? How can I build a greeting video for my customers? Or how can I convert my weekly report into a videos? Things like that. So to me, I think that's actually a much better fit to what we have from AI right now. It's like larger volume of the generations with like less competitions of a experts who already know how to build their contents in the video forms. So that's why I think focusing on content professional, it is the better way to actually capture the underserved market, like for our business right now, than focus on the creative professional at this moment. So it doesn't mean that we will never get into that. When the technology become mature enough, we will get into that world. But I think at this moment, content professional is actually the bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, makes sense. You mentioned HubSpot as maybe, I don't know, the partner, maybe even a channel partner. How do you think about a lot of the people in this audience are also in the language industry, language services businesses? You know, they have hundreds or thousands of clients, big network. Like, how do you think of them as potential partners? What's the upside for them of maybe, you know, getting in touch with you? Could they partner or maybe even like resell HeyGen or use it? Yeah, what are your thoughts around these language services businesses?
Totally. And we actually very, very welcomes like the language services partner to talk to us and build relationships here. Yeah. First, I think in the future, it's not AI going to beat the humans. It's going to be the humans who know how to use AI going to be the human who don't know how to use AI. So that's why AI is going to be a trend. It's not going to be avoidable in these cases. But on the other hand, you can also find out after we work on AI for so long, we know AI have limitations. It's not going to be perfect. It's a probabilistic model. So that's why it's not going to be perfect every single time. So that's why I think closing that last mile, it's still going to be very important. So for example, when you do using our video translation product, you can see that like in most of the cases, the translations looks good, but there are still a lot of cases like either the pronoun was not spelling correctly, or there are some particular tones that you want to speak in the targeted languages is not speaking that way, speaking maybe too formally or too informally in that case. That will require human knowledge to bring adjustments. So I think humans is still unavoidable to actually close the last mile for our product qualities here. And as a company, we believe like building the highest quality products, deliver the highest quality deliverable to our customers are the most important things. And that's why I think there's a great synergies between like AI generations and the services provider here that we can actually leveraging the strengths on both sides to actually make perfect products for our users. So to me, it's not an exclusive relationships. It's actually a 1 + 1 larger than 2 relationships.
Maybe close on a couple of things, or one thing around the risk and the kind of the whole deep fake debate that now with these tools becoming so powerful and, people uploading their likeness, how do you control this? I mean, I'm sure you have like a bunch of policies in place, but maybe give us the highlights, how you manage, the risks that are inherent in this technology.
We really focus on trust and safety here. That's like one things we talk the most inside the company right now. So generally speaking, we have two very important steps to make sure that our technology was not used by the bad actors. Like first, when they first generating the avatar, we will go through a consent process. We'll basically ask the user to record a short videos to confirm that's, the human itself. That he is actually the persons that he want to build the avatar. So, and then we have human moderation teams on the background to help to do the evaluations and make sure the video they record match with the avatar they want to generate. So that's the one line of defense. The second line of defense is on the video moderation side. So for every single video that you generate, we go through two layers of protections. First, we use AI to protect if there's any of the non-safe for work contents inside the videos. So we will reject that first. But even that past the first line of defense, we're going to have a human to look at that. So we'll have the human to make sure that it is truly have no bad contents that was mentioning in the videos. So that's why we believe putting in this like two things. One is the avatar moderations. The second one is video moderations. It's going to help us to make sure the video that generating on our platforms is going to be good content. It's going to be like a content that was not violating any of the copyrights from the other persons in that case.
All right, let's look at the future. What's next? Avatar 5 in a couple of months from now, or what are you most excited about for 2025?
Yeah, of course. I cannot project the future here, but I'll speak a few things that may be very exciting for myself. So, and one thing as we discuss a lot is that we strongly believe in human-centric video modeling. So that's why I cannot predict what time and what's the timelines, but I can see that we're going to have more and more powerful video model comes out. So, and the video model should be able to realistically replicate a humans with better controls, also with faster processing time. So I think this is the boundaries we're going to continue to push. So another thing I will get very exciting is on the video generation side of it. And I also a strong believer for agentic system. So I believe in that if we can actually get to a video agents that can take simple inputs, simple prompts, that can convert into video very easily. So that will be a really big part of our sort of a future agentic movement that we are going to see across the industry here. So, but how can we do that? It's definitely not going to be easy. So it's going to involve in like, how do you understand the A-roll? How do you understand the B-roll? And how do you make the video become more interesting? So yeah, but I think in the futures, we would love to see that going to happen. So in that case, it's not only people can generate the avatar footage itself, but they can also generate the entire video, like with like couple of simple clicks or a couple of words. So I think like that would be the exciting future we'd love to see.
All right. Well, thanks so much for doing this today, Rong Yan. Really appreciate it. I learned a lot. Very fascinating, crazy science fiction tech still for me, but very, very cool what you're working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Florian.